Welcome back students to our next session for the poem How to Tell Wild Animals. I hope you all have enjoyed the humor in the poem How to Tell Wild Animals by Carolyn Wells. The humor is actually unconventional and it gives a different perspective to create and enjoy humor. Let us now come to the poetic devices. Coming to the first stanza, if ever you should go by chance, if ever you should go. So which sound is repeated here? O sound. That means this is an example of assonance. When the vowel sound is repeated in the middle of the words, it is assonance. Then assonance and alliteration, I told you in my last explanation of the last poem also, that we find ample number of examples of assonance and alliteration everywhere. You just need to be very careful while finding out the poetic devices. Okay, in the next line, in the third line of the first stanza, and if there should to you advance, there should to you advance. Now this, did you notice the sentence structure? It is not usual, it is changed, it is a bit different. And why has it been changed? Just to create the rhythm. And when the structure of the language of the sentence is, or of the poem is changed, just to create rhythm or rhyme, the poetic device used is inversion. So here we find an example of inversion. Then coming to the second stanza, or if sometime when roaming round. So roaming round is an example of alliteration. The beginning sound has been repeated. Roaming round. When the beginning sound of two adjacent or closely connected words has been repeated, then it is an example of alliteration. So we find alliteration here. Okay. Then coming to the next, a noble wild beast greets you. So now beast and greets, again assonance. The repetition of vowel sound E. And noble wild beast greets you. So what does the word noble and wild collectively tell you? Noble, wild, beast. Noble and wild. I won't say they are, but they present an opposite idea. A beast who's noble, a wild beast who is noble. So this we can say is an example of oxymoron, because to contrasting two words meaning opposite have been used together. Though it is mentioned at some places that oxymoron is always a combination of an adjective and a noun, but it's not always. Anything which presents an opposite idea can be considered as oxymoron, though generally it takes one adjective and one noun. For example, cruel kindness, adjective and noun. Generally it takes adjective and noun, but any two words showing or presenting contrasting idea can be considered as an oxymoron. So we can say that this is an example of oxymoron. Interpretations may vary. Literature has hundreds and thousands and n number of interpretations, and that's the beauty of literature. Okay, now coming to the next stanza, we can write, if you want, we can write here. We found oxymoron also. Then coming to the next this line, the Bengal tiger to discern. Again, the structure is changed. So we find inversion here. Once again, inversion. The Bengal tiger to discern. The correct formation or the structure of the sentence had been to discern a Bengal tiger. But here it is the Bengal tiger to discern. So it is an example of inversion. Then coming to the next line, the third stanza, first line says, strolling forth. Strolling forth. So again, repetition of vowel sound. That means once again assonance. Then coming to the third line of the third stanza, he has leapt. He has. Again, repetition of the beginning sound H. So alliteration. Then coming to the second last line, 'twill do no good to roar. Again, good to roar. Good to roar. Again, O sound repeated. Once again, assonance. Then coming to the last line of the stanza, he'll only lep and lep again. So again, repetition of the word lep and lep. Repetition of the word lep. So we can write, we found one more poetic device, which is repetition, and also lep and lep, L sound and P sound also repeated. So because L sound is the beginning sound, so once again alliteration, repetition. All right. Now, okay, good to roar, assonance, then lep and lep. This lep and lep is alliteration, right? Coming to the next stanza, the bear stanza, we again find examples of alliteration and assonance. Coming to the second line, you meet a creature there. Meet a creature. Which sound is repeated? E sound. Meet a creature. So again, once again, assonance. Then, who hugs you very, very hard? Once again, repetition of the word very, and who hugs. Now see, this is important. Pay attention. Inversion, I'll write here. Inversion. These are the poetic devices we found till now. Okay, so who hugs? Now this is an example of alliteration. An example of alliteration. But listen, if you see just the letter, you won't find it an example of alliteration, because this is W, but this is H. But what do we see in alliteration? Not the first letter, but the first sound, the beginning sound. So the sound of who is H sound, and the sound of hugs is again H sound. So this becomes an example of alliteration, right? Coming to the next stanza, a novice might nonplus. Once again, no sound repeated, so once again, alliteration. Then coming to the last, the same second last stanza, where crocodile and hyena's characteristics have been described. You may say that when they say hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. So see, if we go behind the general interpretation of why crocodiles tear or why hyenas smile, we feel they are smiling. Maybe it is some sort of scientific change in their body when they are about to eat, or when they eat, or when they swallow. So we cannot say they are exactly happy, or they are crying, they are sad. So we have given them human attributes of smiling or crying, weeping. So this means we have the poet has personified them as humans, hyena and the crocodile. So we can also say that we found personification here. Personification, right? Okay. Then coming to the last stanza, he hasn't any ears at all, about chameleon. So once again, he hasn't means alliteration. and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, it is the chameleon you see. Not a single wing. Now which sound is repeated here? Single wing. And this is a consonant sound, but not in the beginning of the words. So this poetic device is called consonance, when the consonant sound has been repeated in quick succession but not in the beginning. We have one more example in the poem on the last page, but I did not discuss it then because I wanted to discuss it along with this example. This is lep and lep. Lep and lep. We did it as alliteration because of the beginning consonant sound repetition, but it also has one more consonant sound repetition, so it becomes consonance. The repetition of a consonant sound with quick succession in words, but not necessarily in the beginning, is consonance. When the sound should be repeated in the beginning, then it becomes alliteration. So these were the poetic devices we found in the poem How to Tell Wild Animals. I hope you've understood all. Let us once repeat the names of the poetic devices we found. So first of all, the repetition sound devices, which are assonance, consonance and alliteration. We find them in almost all stanzas. Then inversion. We also found this twice. I gave you two examples from the poem. Then repetition also we found in two stanzas. Then oxymoron in The Noble Wild. Then personification, because the hyenas and crocodiles have been personified because it is told in the poem that they are weeping, or the crocodile is weeping and the hyenas are smiling. So this is it. How many poetic devices? Once again, inversion, assonance, oxymoron, personification, alliteration, repetition and consonance. I hope they are clear to you now. Okay, now please revise these poetic devices. We'll meet with the next poem. Till then, take care, stay safe, stay home. Goodbye.